Okay guys, this is probably a video for my electronics channel and my e-bike channel. Um, I was using my, well, I guess you call it a lab power supply, but it's the one that comes with my, came with my geetech printer. And I was told, oh yeah, they're fine, you know, you don't have to change them out with a PC power supply and everything else. These will do just fine. These things are garbage. This lasted about a week. This one was drawing, well, this one was drawing 2.5 amps constant. This one was drawing 3 to 4, and it didn't even last a week. And it is totally dead, unless it's been some kind of overheating mode or something. Yeah, it's still plugged in. It's totally dead. I came down here and both chargers were still hooked up, and it was still warm, but obviously there's no power. So hopefully it didn't send a surge and kill my my chargers. But what we're going to do is maybe tear into it, see if there's anything physically you can see that's wrong with it, and check the thermal fuse if there is one, or the fuse itself. But the fact that it died that quickly is, you know, when I first got the printer, I used this once and it ran pretty hot, and I even said to myself, this thing ain't gonna last. I was right. So let's get a screwdriver. I was working on this tuner here at the same time, and I'm really hoping that these chargers are good. Because I was actually in the process of getting another charger, so because I need as many as I can get. Let me make some room on the bench, and then we'll tear into it and see if we can't figure out what it is. As you can see, the seal is still intact, so it's never been opened. It literally is brand new. Or maybe that isn't a seal. But that one hasn't been opened. So figure out which ones to get in here. What else I gotta take out here? Is there another one here? There's a seal. Let's break the seal. Christ, man, it's so cheap. It only took like 3 or 4 screws to get it open. And that literally is new. Oh, there's a problem. You see that? That's bad. And that's the part that everybody says fails. As you can see, it blew the top right off it. And there's your issue. More than likely, this IC here is either this one of these were getting really hot. I'm guessing it was this one over here, and it probably blew. But that's not good. Good thing it probably even flamed out, but God, it didn't catch fire. Let me clean that up. Move it out of the way. So that's probably the issue right there. That's dead. Let me check the fuse. Get my meter. Okay, so when I check the fuse, I get this. So the fuse is good. So that's actually the issue people have had with this these chargers that I've seen posted. But usually they blow sparks out the side and everything else. This one was pretty clean when it fried. I'm not too sure what to do. Put another one on it, or just, you know, solder those two pieces together and call it a day. I don't think I have another one. Not one as cheap as that one, that's for sure. Thing's powder. Let me take a look and see what I got. Now, I don't know what the rating of this capacitor was, because obviously it's destroyed. Two things are going to happen here. Either I'm going to put a new one on and it's going to work, or it's going to basically pop the minute I plug it in. It's basically a safety capacitor, so. But it shouldn't turn to dust like that. It just leads me to believe that that one there is a fake, which wouldn't be surprised. These are built pretty cheaply. And that is a known problem with this power supply. I've seen a few posts of this supply where people have complained about the fire spitting out of those things. So we're gonna take the board right out, and we're gonna solder the new one right directly to the board. I was gonna put it on the legs, but if it heats up, it's just gonna melt and die again. What else I gotta take out here? This one's out. Yep. Oh, this kind of rubber or something holding it in. Glue. Yeah, it's. There we go. The underside. Alright, let's heat that up and get it off. I got another one here that we're going to use. I don't have any brand new ones, but this power supply has been in service for a while, so there's nothing wrong with it. So the rating on this one. It doesn't say anything. We'll see. I'm just going to put a guess that this one was just fake. Why they would put a cheap capacitor like that on the AC lead. I mean, if it was so cheap that it worked as a fuse before the fuse actually worked, then that's pretty bad. I have a feeling that's what as soon as I plug it in, it's just going to pop. I mean, the fuse is going to pop. Something had to go, and it was either the fuse or the capacitor. I will say, if you own these power supplies, and if this is the case, that it's just the cap, then I suggest you learn how to swap them out, or get someone to do it for you. Put a little bit of solder on that, just to. I don't have any dry leads. Go. Check our. It's clean. It's clean. All right. Throw it back in here. Bolt it down, and see if it powers up. If not, then it's toast. And I'll move on. I'm pretty sure I have an HP PSU floating around that I could use from a server that I should be using anyway. But I figured I'd give this one a chance, because one thing I like about this one is it can be over volted with a pot to 13 volts, and my chargers work better at 13 volts versus 12. I'm just trying to remember which way these went. I guess it doesn't really matter, they're both the same. Cool. Oh wait, I think this goes the other way around. It's like that. I think. even the threads on these things are buggered. Wow. Try it over here. And this is where they stripped it. Unbelievable. At this point, it's not even worth it. But I just wanted to see if curiosity if it's that's what it was. It's just a case that it blew before the fuse did. Because I had this thing under a lot of strain. But for good reason. Need to know if they were good enough for printers. And they're not, so there you go. Okay, almost tight. This one's going to be fun because it's stripped, cross-threaded, whatever you want to call it. Come on. Yeah. Yay. I'm going to have to hold something to keep from twisting until it's somewhat threads. Or it might not work at all. Wow. Well, that's not going to go on tight. Let's just do. What's the? I'm not going to waste your time with that. Trying to get that. We'll leave it the way it is. There's no load on it. I just want to see if I plug it in, if it pops or not. And that's what we're about to find out. Let's make sure nothing flammable around here. Turn that off. There's no switch, so do or die. Here we go. Light comes on. Well, look at that. That means that was a fake. So they spend all that money on all these components here. Put a fake right at the end on the AC side. That's brutal. So it works. That's disappointing. But that is a known issue with these power supplies. This cap here usually shoots flames out. So I'd say if you got it, switch it out. Or even bypass it if you have to. Anyway, I'm going to put this back on the charger. Actually, maybe I should do that. Just to see if it works. See if it smoked them or not. Diagram this on here. Positive, positive, negative, negative. That's the two metal ones, I guess. Please do not. I'm hoping it didn't fry my chargers. Just beep for me. That's all I ask. Just double check everything here. The adjust. We got it in the center. Positive and negative. Positive and negative. Right? Sure. Okay. Let's try it out. Please beep. No pop. Beep. Well, that's not good. I get nothing. Oh, man. So maybe this power supply really is toast. That just sucks. Well, let me have a more of a look at it just to be sure. Nope, just a case of bad power supply. The high end and this transistor or IC here is good. This one here that steps it down, that one is dead. So there's no output. So I'm guessing when that shorted, it took the capacitor with it, but it is dead. So that's all she wrote. It's weird how it didn't blow a fuse or take the capacitor out, but it is a safety capacitor, so maybe it did its job, I guess. But this should have lasted more than a week. The power supply, it wasn't under that much of a load. So if you have this on your 3D printer, you may want to consider changing it out or not leaving it unattended. I'm just going to quickly check my chargers to see if they still work. Well, it looks like I looked out. Looks like everything's still working here. One thing I like about this HP power supply is this one's been modified. I took the pots out of it, and it runs at a full 13 volts. And we're going to pull about 5 amps from this one. No problem, hopefully. There we go, 5 amps. And 2 and some odd volts on amps on this one here. I guarantee it'll last a lot longer than the other one did, that's for sure. Let's change this to LiPo. There. I have more faith in this. This thing here has lasted me like 6 years. Well, there you go. If you own one of these, I say swap them out. I'm not embarrassed to say that I never used it. I've had no problems with that. So later, guys.